We are ReNEW Schaumburg Elementary, located in New Orleans East. We have roughly around 530 students that we serve. Our primarily student body is African American students reside in New Orleans East. However, we have around 15% of our students are non-native English speakers, primarily coming from Honduras. We have pre-K through 8th grade at ReNEW Schaumburg. We've noticed a gap with our students and their ability to read. So we knew that it was important that we start investigating and learning about how can we teach our students to become stronger readers. And it started with partnering with different groups, knowing that we needed to make some changes within our daily schedule and curriculum, and then developing our coaches and then therefore teachers as well. Before we had our literacy coaches, we had the majority of our students, roughly around 60% of our students were not reading on grade level. Now in our 3rd grade, roughly 75% of our students are reading on grade level. We have been working with the Center for Literacy Learning for 3 years now. The literacy coaches have helped our teachers to teach reading by first just teaching them about the science of reading. If you want to be an effective instructor, you have to understand how can I teach a student to read. So that's what our main objective has been, to create our teachers as more knowledgeable around the science of reading. Our literacy coaches work with all of our literacy teachers within the school. They are supporting them with everything from scheduling to grouping of our students to curriculum, preparing different lesson plans for our students. Our literacy coaches have been transformational in terms of supporting our students. We've seen huge growth in our students, particularly in our pre-K through 3rd gap around how our students are learning to read. We've narrowed the margins around students that are on grade level. And every year we see that increase growing and growing. So we have less and less students that are not on reading grade level. I think the biggest change that we've seen within our students is that they're engaged within the curriculum and materials, particularly in our 3rd and 4th grade. Our students can pick up their own books on certain topics. They can venture out and explore different stories within the library, on the internet. Before our students struggled to read texts on their own, what they were learning was really limited. They were only able to learn and hear about stories from their teachers. And so now that with all the work that we've had with our literacy coaches, our students not only know how to read, but are excited to read. So it's really opened up the doors on what they can learn and explore within their different contents and what they're interested in.
I'm a 3rd and 4th grade teacher. When I first started working here, definitely could see the gaps in students' reading skills. And through our intervention program, our literacy coaching, definitely seen improvement in those students' reading skills. The literacy coach has helped me to kind of expand my practice as a teacher and fill in some of those gaps that weren't otherwise being filled. Since I've had a literacy coach, I've definitely seen just the amount of words that students can read going up, students' comprehension rising, students doing better on tests they're taking in other subjects and LEAP tests and so forth. Students are more interested in all of their subjects the more they're able to access it through reading.
Michigan and Alabama, right? Your job is...
We've worked really hard at developing a literacy program through Wit and Wisdom, all of our interventionists, and even our library to make sure that all of our kids have access to really rich texts and are getting kind of the interventions they needed when we do see gaps in their reading. And I think with our work through Liza and the CLL, we've worked really hard on building our own knowledge and coaching our teachers up to build their knowledge, and working really hard to provide extra resources when we don't find them in our curriculum to make sure all kids are learning exactly what they need to know, whether that's phonics or diving deep into Wit and Wisdom and really advancing their reading skills. What we do to help students individually is intervention. So in all of our programs, pre-K through 8th grade, students are in targeted intervention groups that are tackling gaps in their reading, whether that's fluency, advanced phonics, word attack, or even acceleration for some of our students who are at or above grade level already. What we do in intervention is work one-on-one or two-on-one with a teacher to help students build their reading skills. We've been seeing students grow. We've been working with them for about a month, and we've been seeing students make tons of advancement in their ability to read and attack words. So I think we've really been able to see our students grow. Our MAP data has really shot up astronomically, starting with our kids, our lowest kids to our oldest kids. Almost 50% of our kids are meeting their MAP data, their growth goals every single year across all grades. And we're seeing our LEAP scores kind of mirror that growth over the past 7 years. Our emphasis on literacy has made learning a lot more fun. Kids are able to access more of their content across the curricular, so social studies and science teachers are able to do a lot more project-based learning and really increase their scores with kids having a solid foundation in literacy.
After leaving LSU's teacher program, I came to Schaumburg as a kindergarten teacher. During my tenure as a kindergarten teacher, our school started to adopt literacy programs in order to fill the needs of our students. From that transition, I saw the impact within my classroom, and I wanted to make that impact on a greater scale, so I decided to become a literacy coach here. In a typical week as a literacy coach, I do a lot of things. I am in and out of classrooms within Wisdom reading mastery blocks. I also support teachers within their intervention during their elective groups, and then also looking through data just to see where students are and how we can progress them to meet their end of year goal. There are different components in order to get students to learn how to read. Throughout our day, there are several components or blocks that our students go through. The first one is reading mastery, where we're building their phonics skills of how they decode words and read text. And then we also have a portion of the day where we use a Wit and Wisdom, which is a curriculum that helps them to read text, explore text, but then make meaning of what they've read. As a literacy coach, I've seen tremendous results in the past year with just the way that we've tackled not only our Tier 1 curriculum, but starting to see the gaps within our students who need Tier 2 support.
I taught kindergarten. I taught for 9 years, mostly kindergarten. And when I was teaching, I noticed that there was a real gap in students' ability to become proficient readers. I wanted to expand upon my impact to support teachers with their ability to teach their students and fill in those gaps. And so I became a literacy coach and then expanded upon that impact to become a literacy specialist with the center, and so that I could support teachers in schools all across the state of Louisiana. My main goal is to support teachers with improving their ability to provide high-quality literacy instruction to their students. And I also support leadership teams and district leaders with improving their structures and systems within their schools to provide high-quality literacy instruction to students. Since I started working in the schools that I partner with in Louisiana, we've seen incredible results. We've seen a lot of growth in our K-2 readers. A lot more students are becoming proficient reading 2nd grade. And we've seen a lot of growth in LEAP scores across the 3rd through 8th grade space in literacy.
We have seen a lot of progress when I look at the data of the schools that participated in the Literacy Coach program versus the state averages. There were 3 different grades where we saw progress in the schools that participated in the literacy coaches in much greater magnitudes than the state average.
I recommend that all schools have a literacy coach because they've helped us to fill in the gaps of our students who have not been making progress within our curriculum that we've adopted for all students.
I believe the biggest area that we've seen an increase of support is from our parents. Our parents can see now that their students are learning to read, particularly within our lower grades. They see such a transformational change within their kids, starting off as non-readers to becoming readers. And our parents, really become invested in the program within our school, knowing that, okay, this is a school that is teaching my kid how to read, and I want to engage with the school more.